fighter. I think he's amazing. I think he has great technique. He has crazy knockout power.
We all know Tank best weight is 35, 40. You fought Barrios at 40, 35, 40. And you fight Jake Paul, who getting better. I'm like I said, and he got 6 feet tall. Where Tank gonna hit him?
Gervonta Davis just sent shockwaves through boxing with his opening day at camp for the Jake Paul showdown. Picture this. Tank unleashes a jaw-dropping 35-punch combo during pad work. Pure speed, raw power, and laser focus. Every movement screams intent. This isn't a warm-up, it's a warning. Davis is dialed in and ready to dismantle Jake Paul, bringing the kind of discipline and pressure that only a true champion can deliver. Analysts and fans alike are buzzing. This is the energy of a fighter with something to prove.
Then, Tank took to Instagram and broke the internet. "See y'all soon. I guess ATL gonna be two-turned," he teased, before dropping the real message. "Tell them to send that bag, and I'm coming." This isn't just hype. This is Tank making it clear he's hungry for the ring and the respect that comes with a big payday. In today's boxing world, where legacy and financial security go hand in hand, Davis is making a statement. He's not just back, he's back on his terms, refusing to compromise his worth.
I text that again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. Know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, and that, stop it, knock it off, cuz. Stop it. Tell them to send that bag, and I'm coming. And I'm, you know.
Here's where it gets spicy. Davis has never been shy about his thoughts on Jake Paul's boxing journey. He's called Paul's efforts trash, echoing what many boxing purists feel about celebrities stepping into the sport. Tank even joked that Paul just got bored of YouTube. This tension between old-school boxing and the new wave of entertainment fighters has only grown. Yet the fact that Davis is now facing Paul shows how much the landscape has shifted. Something that started as a sideshow is now one of the sport's biggest talking points.
What do you think of former athletes and celebrities like Jake Paul taking up boxing? You think that grows the sport?
If he's doing it for the right reason, actually want to do it because of just like actually want to box, it's cool. But if he's doing it for like the wrong reason, just to get the hype and stuff like that, I feel as though it's trash. Sometimes people get bored of what they want, what they doing, and they want to try other stuff. Got to be mentally tough to be able to box. So that's why I don't take that away from some fighters or some people that want to jump into the sport. So just show how tough you are. That's how it should be.
For sure. That's all I got. Thank you, bro.
Sure. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
This fight has the boxing world split. Purists are up in arms, saying the matchup turns boxing into a circus, prioritizing spectacle over skill. But let's be real, boxing has always danced between sport and showbiz. From Ali's charisma to Tyson's pay-per-view reign, spectacle has always fueled the sport's fire. Whether you see this fight as a joke or a genius move depends on how you balance legacy with entertainment. The debate is fierce. What matters most in boxing today?
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta "Tank" Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder, nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
Former super middleweight contender Jesse Hart didn't hold back, firing at critics who say Tank's lost his way. Hart argues Davis isn't abandoning legacy, he's playing the modern boxing game. Tank has every right to chase the bag, even if it looks like joining the circus, Hart says. This isn't betrayal, it's business. Some want Tank to chase names like Shakur Stevenson, but the reality is a payday like this is impossible to ignore. Hart's defense highlights the divide, legacy versus life-changing money.
Man, that's the circus. If you want to join the circus, that's the circus. I don't see the value. I just see money involved in that. If they want the money, if that's what they want to do, then go ahead and go ahead and get the money. But other than that, I'm not. You got a guy, Jake Paul, that's what, 6'3", 6'4", almost. Then you got a guy, Gervonta Davis, that's like 5'5", a little guy. Yeah. Y'all gonna try to, who's 200 pounds, who's just for Mike Tyson there, I'm gonna throw him in there with a 135. It's just a circus, and that's what they want to do to get money to generate money in the sport of boxing instead of Gervonta Davis, this is a legacy fight. He was supposed to fight Lamont Roach after this, and then he say, no. Think about it. You really can't say too much. When you say Gervonta Tank Davis and you say Lamont Roach, there's still a question mark on that fight. It was still a question mark on that rumble. You just gonna leave it and then go right to the money and say, no, I ain't. That's how you know legacy and everything don't matter. I did that before. I took the money with the Joe Smith fight when my hand was fucked up and, excuse my language, my hand was messed up, broke in training camp, and I still said, yo, no, I'm taking that, I'm still fighting him. I'm not gonna not fight him again. We're fighting him, Dad. We're fighting him, Rick. We're fighting him, Fred. I went against everybody. Jesse, don't take the fight, man. Let your hand heal. Let's get the surgery. No, I'm fighting him. It's too close. We 3 weeks out. I'm fighting him.
Then comes the wild card. Commentator Aiden Ross predicts Jake Paul will win. You heard that right. Ross believes Paul's size and unpredictable style could cause a major upset. It's a hot take, but it proves just how unpredictable this fight feels. Even though Paul lacks Davis's pedigree, his unorthodox approach and self-belief make this matchup a true wild card. Not everyone's convinced the fight will even happen, but the intrigue is real.
More things for Lego. Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Davis.
Crazy.
Your thoughts on this?
I have locks with Snaggy right there. I think Jake Paul wins that fight. You're way look. Obviously, Gervonta Davis has way more experience. He's a hell of a fighter. He's done so much more for boxing, and you know, than a lot of people. But to say that, you know, that's not, everyone's going to want to watch that fight. I think it's a genius idea. I think Jake Paul sets the craziest expectations, and I think he sets the bar so high now in the boxing world. Jake Paul revived boxing. You know, people can say what they want to say about it, but Jake Paul really revived the sport of boxing. You know, Joe Rogan once said previously, not so long ago, but he did speak about how boxing would eventually die out and all the eyes would shift to MMA. And it's true. I sit there, I'll watch UFC whenever there's an amazing pay-per-view event. I'm always watching it. Boxing, I don't really watch it as much. And yeah, you can call me a casual to the sport. I'm just getting into it. But the people that are just getting into the sport, UFC is like the new boxing, what it was 20, 30 years ago. So Jake Paul is changing and reviving the sport of boxing, in my opinion. But I think that Jake Paul wins that fight. I love Gervonta as a fighter. I think he's amazing. I think he has great technique. He has crazy knockout power. Don't underestimate him.
You've spoken to him before, haven't you?
Yeah.
When you're doing it was you and Ron Garcia and Gervonta and Tank when they were both fighting.
Yeah. I just spoke with Gervonta today, actually. So when I get back to Miami, him and I might do something. I don't know. But, you know, I think, like I said, don't count him out, but I think Jake Paul wins that fight.
Coach Bernie is one of the skeptics, flat out dismissing the fight as hype with no substance. He doubts it'll even make it to the ring, calling it all smoke and mirrors. This isn't a new sentiment. Celebrity fights have fallen through before, but with both camps publicly all in, Bernie might be proven wrong. His doubts, though, speak to the larger hesitation in boxing about embracing these crossover spectacles.
I don't see, even at an exhibition. Now, first of all, we went with the Mike Tyson thing, right? So Mike Tyson, 60 years old. You know, obviously we all thinking that, you know, he had to pull his punches against Jake. Either one of them, both of them had to do something to get through the fight, you know, so they couldn't do their 100% thing in the fight. Now we talking about a 135-pound guy, 5'3", right, against a 6 foot, 200-pound guy. What is the point of that? I'm asking you, what is the point of that? What is the point of that, and how you think that's gonna go? So Jake Paul, just alone, on strength alone, Tank is not we just seen him struggle with Lamont Roach, right? Who's a guy his size. Now, Jake Paul is not as talented as Lamont Roach, but come on now, we ain't talking about 2 weight classes. We talking about 4, 5, 6 weight classes. Come on, we got to go from 35, we got to go to 40, 47, 54, 60, 68, 75, 90. That's 7 weight class difference. 7 weight class difference. 7 weight class difference. We talking about 7 weight class difference. We all know Tank best weight is 35, 40. You fought Barrios at 40, 35, 40. And you fight Jake Paul, who getting better. I'm like I said, and he got 6 feet tall. Where Tank gonna hit him? Where is Tank gonna land some punches? And he don't throw a lot of punches. and he don't throw a lot of punches. Come on now. He didn't knock Lamont Roach out. You gonna knock Jake Paul out? So what's the point of the exhibition for real?
But for Jake Paul, this is about more than money, it's about respect. For years, he's been the YouTuber turned boxer nobody took seriously. But with every win, especially against ex-MMA champs, his stock rises. Facing Tank Davis, the undefeated knockout artist, is Paul's boldest move yet. If he rises to the occasion, even in defeat, he'll earn a level of respect that no one can deny.
And it definitely seems like this is that he wants the respect of legitimacy. He doesn't want to be looked at like some type of, you know, I don't know, circus act. Like, you know, people think that he's doing these fights that are being thrown. He's not legitimate, you know, and his detractors are saying that it's like, yeah, okay, well, you did this and did that, but these guys were old, or, you know, they were retired, or this and that. But the fact of the matter is, when you fought a real fighter, you lost. So people are like, you're not legitimate. That's what people say. So after everything I've seen on him, if he can beat Tank Davis, I think he'll have his legitimacy card. If he can beat or do something like Rocky 1 to where you got people questioning who won, then he's going to get all the respect in the world. That's how I think it's going to go. Because I've seen Tank just destroy people, body people, play with his food, you know, with people. You know what I'm saying? Tank is legit as it gets.
For Davis, this isn't a risk. It's a brand-building masterstroke. Winning against Paul makes Tank a household name beyond hardcore boxing circles. The global spotlight Paul brings means Davis's profile explodes, opening doors to new fans and bigger opportunities. And legacy fights, they're still on the table. In fact, this could set up a massive rematch with Lamont Roach or other top contenders. The Paul fight is a launch pad, not a roadblock.
Then this is the type of event that will probably push him even further along in his popularity. If he puts on a good performance and it's an exciting fight or exhibition and anything, and he winds up somehow looking good in this, I don't know how it is. It looks to me David and Goliath, but David got skill and Goliath doesn't, but I don't know how it's going to work out. But if for some reason it winds up being a really fun event and it has tons and tons of viewers, millions and millions and millions of viewers, when Gervonta Davis goes back to his next fight, which I hope would be a Lamont Roach fight, then maybe some of that will wash into the next fight and it'll be a bigger fight and more money in it for the fighter that he'll actually fight next, who, again, I certainly hope is Lamont Roach. So why did he do it? It's very, very, very clear that he did this. Gervonta Davis did this for the money, and it's not an illogical thing. And if somebody in his situation has this to do, consider all things considered, hey man, you know this is what people are gonna do. So he has a fight with a tough Lamont, very, very tough Lamont Roach, who people did not say was a tough fighter before he fought him, but Lamont Roach is a very, very tough fighter. He had a deal already done to fight Jake Paul before he caught that draw. So if I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, I'm gonna say, okay, great. If you get you already signed for the Jake Paul deal, that could be $50 million. I'm hearing the numbers, I'm hearing somewhere around $50 million. Then if you go back and fight Lamont Roach and the anticipation for the Lamont Roach fight has increased, then you kind of get a double dip on it and it may work out extremely well for Gervonta.
That's the full breakdown of boxing's most controversial matchup, the fight that's got legends, champions, and fans divided. Will Tank Davis crush the doubters and Jake Paul, or will Paul shock the world and earn the respect he's always wanted? Drop your predictions in the comments, smash that subscribe button, and stay tuned, because this story is just heating up.